Congratulations! You have found Wrestle Shoot, hosted by the Wild Thing Rob Wilds and the ladies' man Chris Casanova. Combined, we have 40 years of wrestling experience, and we're here to share those experiences, stories, and knowledge with you over the podcast airwaves. We'll be joined by friends of ours from time to time to share their stories and experiences with you as well. So climb aboard the crazy train we call Wrestle Shoot. We know how to do it, and we do it real well. How do you not love that fucking song? Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Wrestle Shoot. I'm your host, the Wild Thing, Rob Wilds, joined, of course, by my co-host, Chris.
Cheers.
Come on, you know I'm going to do better than that. Joined, as always, by the wonderful, the talented, the powerful, the sunglass-wearing machine, my hedgerow life mate himself, Chris Casanova.
That's better.
Okay. I was expecting to get something, dude. I'm still feeling fired up from last night, from that shoot we did on that cut rag Ron Shaw.
Your best friend? Your bestie?
That guy is a piece of garbage. But listen, I want to throw something out there before we get started. I would like to direct everybody's attention back over to the Antisocial Network and pay some attention. Pay some attention to our friend Chris, where he does the Bloody Dreadful Shite Movie Podcast. It's fan-fucking-tastic, man, where he forces himself to watch an awful movie and then gives you his British breakdown of it. And he makes some pretty badass intro graphics if any podcasters are looking for a dude who does some good goddamn work. The Bloody Dreadful Awful Shite Podcast, fucking whatever it's called, I fucked it up. But Chris, you're the man, dude, and I love the concept for the movie. Just somebody watching a horrible movie and then telling us all how horrible it really is. Fascinating.
I think it's the fun part of it, right?
What a clever idea, you know.
It is. You just like insult the movie and talk whatever you want about it. That's the fun part, man.
The dreadful, bloody shite fucking movie podcast.
I've done that before, though. I've done that before on my end, just like watching some movie. I know it's fucking the shits, and I'm like, I just have fun with it. I'm like, God, how terrible is this movie? I keep watching it. It's just like, and I roll with it. So I like the concept.
So I have an idea, and I would love some viewer feedback. Now, remember watching Ron Shaw's video, for those of you who saw it, where he's sitting in this room on these steel benches because obviously he doesn't have any money to buy a fucking couch, but right. All he had were those little plaques on the wall behind him. I believe that we should go ahead, Wrestle Shoot, and get Ron Shaw a brand new plaque to hang on his wall about being the 2023 Wrestle Shoot Crybaby of the Year. It's a girl. I mean, look at those tits. Put a shirt on, you pervert.
Is that double D? Is that double D?
Oh, I don't know about that. I'd say it's a full C.
Full C cup? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, full C. Probably like, maybe like 36 C, I'm guessing.
Yeah. That's a good guess. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that look on his face. He looks like somebody literally just farted in his mouth. And that's how he always looks. Always got that sourpuss.
Looks constipated, actually.
Now, Ron, we're not going to go at you too bad this week, baby, because we did plenty at you last night. But, yeah, you're going to rue the day that you fuck with Monty, and then his friends got involved to come back at you. You're going to rue the day. Monty's got too much class. We have no shame.
We're sanitation workers, from Jersey?
From Long Island.
Why I keep saying New Jersey, Long Island?
I don't know. But I still challenge Ron Shaw to answer the question from last night. Being Mr. America, why would you bag on this country's sanitation workers? You referred to us as a couple of Long Island sanitation workers as an insult. So who the fuck are you?
Foul-mouthed.
Well, yeah, but come on. People who don't even watch this show know what a chucklehead I am, and I just say whatever pops into my empty skull.
Yeah, we never know what's going to come out.
Never know. But I'll tell you what we do know is we have our guest has arrived.
Oh.
So now, should we play ourselves on typical fashion and make him wait a few minutes? Or do we just bring him on and get down to it?
Yeah, let's bring him on, man.
Let's just bring him the fuck on.
Yeah.
Guys and gals, we have got the human nightmare Cage. Brother man.
What's up?
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Get the gimmick.
So, Ron Shaw, you guys, almost starting a fan club because I literally never heard of him before.
Well, that's because you like good wrestling, and he is literally the most forgettable man in the history of the business. People remember Barry Horowitz is a bad example. He was a great worker.
I like Barry.
Bastion fucking Booger, people remember over Ron Shaw. The Gobbledygooker. Oh, you know who I remember over Ron Shaw? This might be even outside of your guys' memory range. But from USWA, the Macho Warrior, Rick Hogan.
Fuck.
Not ringing a bell.
Google it and thank me fucking later. The Macho Warrior, Rick Hogan. He's this giant, big, fat blob of a fuck. And he's running around a brother, going, oh, yeah. And he wrestles like a big, fat fuck. And he was so thoroughly entertaining to me. Starting a little feud with Lawler's kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we all know that Lawler's boy got the push to the stars because of who he was, not really his talent level, right?
It didn't help.
Unless you disagree.
He was okay. Yeah, it's he didn't carry his dad's name, but everybody knew who he was, and that got him places.
Well, he just didn't carry his dad's name over in WWE. Everywhere else, yeah, he was fucking Lawler.
Was he really? I thought it was always Brian Christopher.
No.
Yeah, I saw him here locally, and he was going as Brian Christopher.
Right after his WWF run, right? WEFG.
But card comparative, he did well. I mean, he was good for the indie circuit, but he wasn't going to hang in the big time.
He was a good tag team wrestler.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Singles, maybe not so much. I feel like he would get lost a lot in singles matches. I mean, that's the goddamn beauty about tag team wrestling. Oh shit, I'm lost, Chris. Come on, get it. Tag it.
It depends how often you do it, though. I mean, I do way more singles than tag, and occasionally they throw me in a tag, and it's like, oh, I better tag the other guy in so he can get some action.
So he can get some work.
Get going in singles mode and forget.
Easy to do,
bro. I'm in a handicap match. All right.
Well, interestingly, the last match I did was actually one of those impromptu tags. The regular guy, him and his partner were going up against the new tag champs for Top Notch Wrestling Alliance, local promotion. And his partner ended up in the hospital. So we both wear face paint, kind of got a monster thing going. So they paired me up with him. The tag team champs are great kids, but literally neither one they barely make 5 feet tall apiece. I mean, they could be on the micro circuit. So you got me and this 300-pounder in there trying to make a match. It got over. I mean, it went good, but yeah, it was it was different coming into a tag with that kind of vibe to it. And they're a mixed tag, it's brother and sister. So I'm in there with this girl who's like 4'10", 90 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
That had to be fun, dude. I used to love pumping for chicks, man. Just they get in there and lay it in on you. The crowd goes bonkers. You oversell it, get embarrassed, play that whole gimmick. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, she got she got some pop. She hit me with a back kick to the knee, and then hit me with I had to go down to my knee so she could actually hit it. And then she hit me with a code breaker, and that got a lot of pop.
There you go.
Nice.
So it was a good time. Match got over. It was a good card.
Nice. When was this?
February 4th.
Now, what's your primary territory?
Pretty much just West Virginia these days. I've scaled back. I do a little show up in New Haven, West Virginia. It's a small town, but it's a real good promotion. They do everything professional. And then there's a little show here. I work locally They've had some crap venues lately. I bowed out of a couple because of that, but I'm going to be back with them March 11th. They got Manny Fernandez coming in. It's always a pleasure to see him around.
The Raging Rapist.
Raging Bull. He was supposed to have been there a couple months ago, but I think he had knee surgery, something like that.
He's still working?
I don't think he's going to get in the ring. He's going to manage the guy. He goes by Mr. 8x10, Legend Killer, and that's kind of his thing. His promotion brings in legends, and he works them, typically gets over. It's his gimmick. But you get an old guy like that, he'll come out and manage him. I worked him, I don't know, 6 months ago. He had had Jimmy Valiant and Captain with him.
Nice.
And we had a fun time with that. Jimmy's funnier than hell.
Wow.
He come out, I got in Jimmy's face, turn around, he comes up and fucking gooses me in the ass and shit, and the crowd just pops.
God, he's still over too. That's awesome.
Of course he's still over. Woo! Wow.
Oh, yeah,
man.
he's over.
Yeah.
Jimmy's still over. Captain had like a freaking tennis racket or something, so he's trying to whack me with that, and I just let him go at it and look at him. That's part of my gimmick is the front headshot. I just don't fucking sell it for pretty much anybody. If you can make me sell it, well, that's different, but it really don't happen. So he's running around, and the other guy comes in, hits me from the back. So it's a nice little spot.
Nice.
Chris, I gotta put this out there. When are these people gonna quit biting off our gimmick with this fucking Legend Killer thing? For Christ's sakes. Dude, 25, 27. How long ago was Stuka and Tonga?
You're making do math, dude. 21 years ago.
21 years ago, we beat Jimmy Snuka and the Tonga Kid and started calling ourselves the Legends Killers ever since. Then all of a sudden, our buddy Johnny gets signed up over there with Vince, and now all of a sudden Randy Orton is the Legend Killer. I used to go to the ring, swinging the belt like a wild-eyed lunatic, screaming the champ is here, right in front of Cena. All of a sudden, over at Vince, the champ is here. Those motherfuckers. They at least give us a writing job if you like our ideas.
Well, that's the thing in the business. You know that. Anytime an idea gets over, you don't get to keep it. Somebody else is going to pick it up and run with it.
Blows up, man. Yeah.
I can't verify this factually, but my old outfit, Blood War Wrestling Alliance, used to run over in Ohio. As far as I know, we were the first promotion to actually do the flaming damn table. But within 2 months, there it was all over freaking ECW.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you had him on here last year, Ken Jugan, Zoltan,
yeah.
Zoltan. He was on that card. I was wrestling. I think his name was Crusher Bones. My tag partner Viper was wrestling Tarantula.
Okay.
And what really sucked is,
I love that dude. Is he still working?
Big Dave. I know PWX did like a tribute for him. I don't know if he's getting back in the ring. He's a little older than me. He got into the sheriff business there for a while. So this guy's talking.
What's up, Mickey? How the fuck you doing, brother man?
But anyway, we set the card up where Viper and Tarantula are the semi-main.
Okay.
So we're doing the flaming table. Kenny gets out there with the bottle of alcohol, and instead of just, throwing a little dab, he empties the damn thing on the table in the ring. So flames are shooting up 5 feet in the air. Tees up on the second rope, hooks Viper for a power bomb, gets him about 12 feet in the air. So that alcohol splashes everywhere.
You goddamn right it does.
He catches on fire.
Yeah.
He's literally on fire, running around. The table's on fire, busted up, pieces of flaming table. I'm handcuffed to the ring as part of a gimmick. Now, this looked cool as hell because, they were shite dime store cuffs. And I just go, argh! And, snap the damn things off. And the crowd's like, ooh. To get over and, kind of stomp my partner out. Tarantula's beard caught on fire. That was kind of funny. We get the fire put out, get that match over. And then what happens? I've got to come out in the main and fucking top that. Now, if you were in my shoes, what you guys do?
Fuck, that's
What are you gonna do?
That's a tough
What would
task,
we
man.
do? Personally,
what
what
would
would we do? We would do whatever the fuck it took. Throw us off bleachers, light us on fucking fire, set up, take the ropes down and put barbed wire up instead. I don't give a shit. We're the main. We're getting the fucking most heat tonight.
Yeah, but
well, we didn't have too much like that up our sleeves. So me and Bone Crusher got it. We killed it. We went some hardcore on the outside as much as we could. It wasn't technically a hardcore match. But at the end of it, I ended up juicing and got the nickname Tommy Streamer from it because I hit the freaking artery or vein right there, and that shit was out.
Tommy Streamer.
So that's what got that match over. Now, by the time I got back in the locker room, I didn't know who the fuck I was.
Yeah, Chris has had to guide me out of a ring and pull pieces of kendo stick out of my head. And just same for him. I've had to have him carried out, get pieces taken. We have taken some real hard way juice jobs.
Yeah.
It's
good time. It was a good time. We had a great house. And like you guys obviously know Tarantula. Good story about him. First time I worked him, we were on, it was billed as ECW. Now, I don't know if the promoter actually got permission or what the hell he was doing. It was over here in Ohio. But I'd seen Tarantula work once. And, I mean, he's a big dude. And I saw him, I went and watched the match. And he looked kind of light on his punches. So I tell him in the locker room, I was like, hey, brother, don't worry about being too light out there. We do hardcore. We're good.
Yeah.
Telling somebody 6'7", 340 with an attitude, probably not the best thing to do. Because me and Viper wrestled each other, hardcore first match. He had the axe handle and barbed wire, had my chain. Ended up taking a crossbody from the top rope to the outside through a table and shit. So we had a pretty good match. Another guy come out and set us up for a tag. Well, his tag partner ended up being Tarantula, was the Dungeon Master. And him and Tarantula come out, being Viper on the outside. And the first thing he does is grab both of us by the back of the head. And I mean, full force, man. We cracked coconuts. I thought he knocked both of us out for a second. So we wrestled that damn match. And in this damn tag match, I don't know if you know about Dave and his penchant for the freaking concession stand food. Got a damn loaded hot dog and faced me with it. I was picking hot dogs. Fucking
love to see that.
Trash can me.
He's always wanted to recreate the fucking concession stand incident. He's always wanted to make
every
that
damn
happen.
card.
Yeah. But he's never going to get that kind of heat. That can only get over like it did once.
But so we get through that match, and then me, Viper, and him are the last three in the Battle Royal. So we get in the Battle Royal, we get everybody else out. It's us three. And I'll tell you what, third match, maybe my cardio wasn't where it should be. I was gassing bad. But it's 2-on-1. We back tee up to the ropes, and Viper leans in and calls, take a clothesline. Sends him off. We both come in, boom, and what's he do? Bam, he clotheslines both of us. I wasn't real happy. Viper just fucking lost his shit. And Viper was the smallest dude in the match. I mean, he was 210 soaking wet.
Right.
We get back up, beat me back down, take him over to the ropes. Viper lean into him and he says, take a bump, you big motherfucker. We'll put your head in the goddamn third row. Dave bumped. We were friends after that, had great matches all up and down.
Damn.
But you just couldn't, if you took his shit, you're going to take it forever.
Yeah.
That's the way it was. You got to stand up for yourself, and you got to be right. He ain't going to put up with jabroni shit. But
I've always thought that when he threw that heat, it's like, I know that you're trying to protect the guy that you're working with, man. But dude, you got to make some fucking contact.
Oh yeah,
you have to.
I don't know what it was. What I saw, maybe it's just because I got a wrestler's eye for it. It just might have been because he knew he was big and he was a legitimate fucking powerhouse. And, he's just, a little worried about the guy. Maybe the guy felt green. I don't know. That used to never bothers Dave, though. But,
all right. Oh, by the way, real quick, guys, whoever is watching in the other places that we're being aired, just know that if you're sending comments to us in chat, we can, for some reason, only see them here on Antisocial. So jump over to the network, come on and join the chat. But when you put it in like my profile and whatnot, for some reason, we don't get it.
Yeah. Jump on, man.
Yeah, come engage us like we used to do back in the good old
Engage with Cage.
Oh shit. He's
That's my gimmick. If I do
Diana
autographs or on my shirt, I'll sell it's Rage with Cage. So,
Rage.
yeah, I'm just like perpetually angry.
So how did you come up with your gimmick? Like, how was it?
Okay. Interesting story. When I first started out, and I've been doing this a while, my first gimmick was an Elvis gimmick.
Oh.
KJ Presley, the Heartbreaker, rhinestone jacket, hearts on the ass, had the sideburns, the whole Elvis look, came out to Heartbreak Hotel. Came out as a baby because I was new, I was green. I wasn't up calling a match. So, they sent me out as a face. Worked a lot with my trainer. But in locker rooms, kind of as the first few years went by, KJ kind of got merged into Cage. It was, hey, Cage. It was just KJ.
Yeah.
Well, me and my trainer kind of split ways. I kept the gimmick for a little while and went through a spell where I went under the Dark Champion, under a hood. I started my own promotion. Sometimes you needed that extra guy. But I had a pretty bad back injury. It wasn't surgery, but it took me out for about 3 months. And I decided to reinvent myself. And I was like, Cage, there's Cage matches. It sounds, pretty gnarly. We can work with it. As you can tell, I grew up as a fan of the Road Warriors. So, yeah, I borrowed a little bit.
I could see the paint there a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there was a movie came out in the 80s that I just loved the fuck out of it. And they should have only made one. And the phrase in the movie is there can be only one. So Kurgan is the inspiration for my character.
Okay. Kurgan. Yes.
Okay. I thought it was like Rick Steiner meets Hawk. I thought that's what we were doing here.
Rick Steiner.
All right, guys. So listen, those of you who are here in the chat room with us, one of my boys just put up a link for a GoFundMe we're doing for one of our podcast personalities. Vanessa's going through a real hard time right now. She's looking at being homeless. So we are looking to generate some funds to help keep her from being homeless. So I'm going to start spreading this on my profile. Chris, you're going to as well, and we're going to get the word out. So take a look at it. Anything helps. I know that I'm going to make a donation for Wrestle Shoot towards it. So let's get it rocking out there. Let's take care of Vanessa because she takes care of us with her unique content.
Awesome stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's not too bad. We try to stick together over here. It's like we're like a locker room. Sometimes we be at each other's throats, but everybody else better mind their own fucking business because this is our family we're dealing with.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say. Just that the two small promotions I deal with anymore is both of them have great locker rooms. There's no big egos. There's no I'm the next guy McMahon's picking up or I know everything. And I've seen them in there, but these promoters got rid of them pretty quick. So it's a real nice experience in the locker room, and that can really make a show for a guy, I think.
Oh, sure.
I feel like for that Eastern territory, guys like Necro really started changing the landscape of how these wrestlers are going to conduct themselves in the back, because that dude will grab you neck and pants and throw you right out the back fucking door.
I can believe it. I can believe.
Love that guy. Hardcore icon who should have been farther along than he was, but he wasn't the wrestler.
Yeah, he did get to do that. And it's interesting the fact that dude can't hardly see without his specs, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't really need to be able to see to just stand there and let somebody beat your head in with something.
Well, that's true. That is true.
But then he just waits for the guy to go, okay, hit me back. And then he hits you back real fucking hard.
Yeah, because he can't fucking see you.
That's right. He's like, oops, did I get you? What do you mean, oops, did you get me? You know you got me.
It's too late.
You're blind, but you felt that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's where receipts come from. So,
hey, then that's right. Fucking receipts. But at least the kids aren't doing it like they used to, like we used to back on each other in the day. Because I don't know, with the landscape of how pro wrestling is right now, these little pussies would die if they threw receipts in like we used to.
Oh, hell yeah. That's probably one of the reasons, kind of taking up the show with Tarantula. But like I said, we had a lot of good matches. And I still, to this day, I never did get to ask him, but we were doing a show at a school, and I still don't know what the hell I did. I never asked him. But we're outside the ring, and the next thing I know, he's coming with one of those, real old cooler lids, like the old Coleman's, yelling receipt, and just shatters that damn thing over my head.
What?
It put me on one knee for a second.
Like a cooler, like a mini mate type thing, or like
like some is you're gonna take on a picnic, one of them old things like your granddad had in the back of the truck. Yeah. And he just came bam. Yeah. I heard the seat and went, damn.
You didn't even have the time to finish, damn.
Not really. No.
Yeah. Good night.
Wow.
It's what, because you mentioned that he's in the sheriffing business, and he is. He's the guys over in the Allegheny County prison, a prison that I have a little bit of experience with based on my past. So
okay,
he sees me getting ready to get released before trial. Getting own reconnaissances, and he looks over in the cage and he sees me, and I look over and I see him, and my heart went. And I just kind of ducked my head and tried to get down behind the wall and chill. Then all of a sudden I hear this real gentle on the glass. And I look up and he goes, opens the door and brings me out and goes, okay, we're going to have you out of here in about 30 minutes. And he just dressed me down for what I was in there for and for being there in the first place. But it did me a lot of goddamn good. Really helped me to get back on the right track in life. But him just sitting there shaking his head at me real slow was real intimidating because he's a big sumbitch.
He is. Wow. I've ran into big dudes too that they're kind of more like the modern guys. They're big pussies. This one guy, and I don't think he's worked for years. He went as Giant Warrior. His name was Neil. Real nice guy. Legit. He was like 6'11 3/4, built at 7 foot. He was so close, might as well say so. A little on the basketball looking side, he only went about 320 or so. But popular on cards because he's a 7-footer. You don't get to see that in the indies that often. So I ended up working him on one card, and we're going over the match. So, I don't want to take that. I don't want to take this. I don't want to take. It's like, geez, well, what can you take? I ended up giving him a sidewalk slam. He bitched about later, but the big one, I wrapped my chain up, which I don't know what the hell I had it here a minute ago, but wrapped my chain up in my hand and give him a shot. It wasn't a stiff shot. It wasn't a coat, it wasn't a tater, nothing like that. It was just a shot like I would give any. That bastard about fucking died. Oh, I mean, I looked the dude right here in the chest, and he's crying about, a little pop on the head that didn't even leave hardly a freaking mark.
Has he ever taken a legit bump? Like, seriously, that this is wrestling, right?
I mean, he would take a regular bump. I mean, he would take drop kicks and stuff, but I don't know. He just didn't want to take anything that, had some real impact, I guess.
Wow.
Well, you know what I say? If you're going to work with somebody who is going to give them some pepper, give them some fucking salt. Get in there and get in there. Don't be one of those little bitches who just cry about it at the back, man. If he fires in on you and you don't fire back, well, then you deserve to get punked. This is professional wrestling.
Yeah.
That was our generation.
True. And I kind of learned that the hard way. It was a real early match of mine. And we were doing some fair. It was outside and all that. Of course, the promoter got paid by the fair board. The rest of us, got, $5 and a free hot dog or what have you. But, he said, he told me about this dude, he brought in from Las Vegas and he was all good and this and that and the other. You listen to him and do this. Well, I was greener than goose shit. I'm freaking nervous. Oh, man, I'm really wrestling a top-notch guy here. I don't want to fuck up. We get out there and start working. The guy gets lost in like 30 seconds, and at some part of the match, he knocked me down on my knees, stood over me and did a sunset flip while I'm on my fucking knees.
But what?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
Where did he land? On your back?
Basically, yeah. About it stuffed his head up my ass.
So
Well, hey, at least you had a good time.
Well, we get done with the match, and he ends up over. The crowd wasn't into it. We're going back to the locker room, and the promoter, who was my trainer, then takes me aside and chews my ass for not taking over and squashing him. Well, you fucking built the guy up like he's goddamn Hulk Hogan. Why would I think as a green ass newbie that I'm gonna fucking squash him?
You're just kind of doing what you're told, basically.
Yeah, at that time of my career, now it don't fucking matter. I'm about done. So, keep up or you're going down. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And speaking of wrestling big, giant, huge motherfuckers, this guy sitting over here, he's the master of that shit, man. He worked this guy, Paul Isadora, he was almost 7 feet tall, and he was doing like a straight out of prison, still in the jumpsuit gimmick.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he wrestled Kali.
Really?
Yeah. Did a little thing with him back in 01. Yeah.
Cool. Tell him my favorite part. Tell him my favorite part of that match.
Oh, is that when he reached over the top rope? So we're doing this little gimmick thing. We're going back and forth, and I did a little baseball slide under his legs outside the ring, and I started posing, and he literally reaches over the top rope as I'm on the floor, hooks me like that, and literally choke slams me from the outside into the inside of the ring.
Damn.
That's a long fucking haul, man.
And a hard ass landing.
It don't matter how well you get up for a dude. That takes some power to complete that.
Oh, and he literally pretty much muscled me for the most part, man. Like,
wow.
He just,
wow.
Yeah, that's why it's my favorite. That's why it's my favorite part. It wasn't like it was this complete, perfect execution of a spot. I got to watch this dude get yanked up by his fucking throat and drilled into the middle of the ring by a sloppy giant. It was awesome.
And I tell you, man, that bump was memorable. I'll just say that.
I would figure so.
I'm surprised you can remember it. You hit so hard.
Tuck your chin, brother.
You end up in the locker room like Schizo, just ordering a cheeseburger, large fries, and a chocolate shake to nobody.
And later wondering why they didn't show up.
No. Well,
but for bumps, and I don't know, this is where Viper always marveled at him, because everybody looks at the guy taking some bumps, but the guy giving them sometimes is really taking more of a risk. And we ended up going to this little show in Ohio. This is before I had my ring and was doing anything. And this old dude, his name was Joe. Can't remember much about him, but he was like the guy that rented the ring. He would come up, he would show up all by himself, and he would put the ring up all by himself. So we had a card. Dude had pretty well a packed house for that small of a venue, but no Joe. Joe didn't show up. So we're all in the back, and I don't know if you'd heard of him, Paul Harley. He was promoting, and walking back and forth, ring. We're like, well, what do we do? We go home. He looked out there. He said, "No, you can't go home. You can't go." He went out and used masking tape to put a 16-foot box on the floor.
Damn.
And we went out and pretended that was the ring. Well, the first match I worked that night, for some reason, they had me and Viper wrestling against each other again. So we're out there doing stuff, and you're bumping on the damn floor to begin with. But what's this crazy bastard do? This was in an old high school gym, and they got one set of the bleachers pushed all the way back against the wall. Those fuckers are about 12 feet in the air. He goes all the way up there and cross bodies my ass to the floor. So I felt sorry for his knees, but I got that when I hit, my head snapped back, and you kind of get that where it turns yellow and starts closing in on you like a fucking cartoon. He didn't play out, but I felt it for a few days.
So the ring just didn't show up, or
never showed up.
That's fucked up. Dude. I'd be cutting somebody's head off for that shit.
So yeah, we just did the card on the damn floor. Nobody really paid attention. The ref tried to keep us in that little 16-foot tape box, but that was laughable.
Yeah.
But yeah, that crossbody off the top of the bleachers to the concrete, I still remember that one.
And I can already see exactly how like Chris and I would have handled that. We would have walked out there and said, loud to the crowd, "The hell is this? The hell is this? Chris, come here. Let's just fight this thing out like men right here on the sidewalk, dude. Take everything right into the crowd, man. Just get them fired up. Because I know if I paid to go to a show and I saw some motherfucker taping down a box, I'd be hot, dude. I'd be hot.
Yeah,
I could have done this myself at home.
It was it is with promoters. He looks out, he sees the crowd. He don't want to get no money back.
Well, you know what? You want to keep doing shows, you might want to consider that. Sorry, fellas, let's just call it a day. There's no ring. Somebody tried that on us, man. We were putting on a show at the Pepsi Arena, and he decided on show day, because he thought he was going to break our company, he was going to pull the ring out from under us. We had Honky Tonk and Marty Jannetty sitting next to us in the restaurant when this fucking guy called, "Sorry, I can't bring you my ring." Well, an hour later, we had another ring. We're not shutting this show down. That's what we did.
Yeah.
It was a little tiny, one of those low to the ground, foot high trains, but it was a ring.
Ring's a ring.
Gotta do what you got to do sometimes.
I think as far as rings go, the worst one I had to work in was some little 12 by 12 low boy training ring that the guy booked a ring, and, he thought it was going to be a regular ring, and that's what he got. And I mean, literally you're 2 steps side to side. There's hardly anywhere in the ring you can put somebody that can't touch the damn ropes. What you make do with what you got.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, you got to adjust, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But the ring Top Notch Wrestling Alliance has, I don't know, it's just a cloud of a ring. It just really is. And I'm not there for setup. I'm not above that, but it just doesn't work out. But literally, I'd almost just dive off straight on my head into the middle of that damn thing. And so got so much give to it. It's just sweet to work in. And it's a big one too. It's 18 by 18. So you get a little more exercise.
Yeah, got to get that extra step in. Like in a 12-foot, like what is that? Is that like a stride and a half, rope to rope?
Pretty much, yeah. One full stride, and then you got a stutter step to hit the damn opposite rope.
And there's you can't be like throwing suplexes and shit, something that small.
Not really, unless you're micro league or something. Yeah, we couldn't do squat.
Try to go corner to corner, maybe.
That's about all you could do.
That's a stretch even too, though. I mean, you got to have some type of extra room, like another quarter.
Yeah, well, if you hook the guy, you'd pretty much have to step up and do a standing to have him, catching his feet on the opposite corner.
Jeez.
So
the worst ring that we were ever in was some fucking jagoff booked a boxing ring with no padding or canvas, so he tied a fucking tarp down over a boxing ring, and we're in the back, and Cass goes, "What the fuck are we gonna do?" We said, "We're gonna take the entire thing out the front door, and they'll follow us." And we did. The entire building emptied out after us.
Wow.
You just had to. I mean,
I'm not gonna get hurt in that piece of shit. This is a boxing ring, and even boxing rings have a little padding. Jesus.
Supposed to.
I'm not taking a single bump in this. I'm just not doing it for $50 or whatever we got that night. Fuck
yeah. No, the original ring I trained in was an 18 by 18, boxing or wrestling. It could go 3 or 4 ropes.
Yeah.
But the trainer didn't have the mainspring to start with. This is back in the days when they had mainsprings. I guess they just don't have them anymore.
Yeah.
So he just shorted up with freaking concrete blocks. It was like a freaking kitchen floor with a little padding on it. That's what we trained in for about the first day. And you'd be surprised the number of guys that took a few bumps and never come back after that.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't come back. I'd have gone and found somewhere with a better ring.
I didn't know any better.
That's true.
I thought, damn, this is it. I better condition my ass up. So
I trained tough. So, like where I trained for that time was in a 20. So I had to get used to those extra 2 steps. So when I started working, I'm getting thrown in 16s. I was like a drunk in there trying to run the ropes. Oh, shit.
They can throw you off, man. You buy 2.
Oh, yeah.
Throw you off easily.
Yeah, well, the first time I worked in Top Notch Ring, I hadn't been in an 18 in this century. And yeah, it threw me off a little bit that first match. Probably took me a little bit to adjust to it.
I'm surprised they're still making 18s. Like, there's really no point to go above the 16.
Not really. Just they're what's out there. I guess the cost of rings is up pretty good. The ring I used to have, it was a 16 by 16. I got it for $700. Needed a little work. Yeah, it needed a little work. We took care of that. Ran it for years, and then when I got out of it, the promoter that always rented it, I said, you can just use it free of charge till I want it back. And I'd run into, and you guys are aware of the indies, I ran into where my job changed, and I wasn't really being available for when shows were happening. Had a bad experience in the ring, and I decided, I'm just done. This guy called me. He said, hey, I forget what the conversation, but basically it ended with, just keep the ring. I'm done. Oh, wow. When I came back, I didn't quite remember that. He reminded me because I called him, hey, I'd be interested in getting my ring back. Hey, you gave it to me. I'm fucking keeping it.
So, he called you out.
Pretty much. I mean, I honestly didn't. He reminded me. It's like, yeah, shit, I did say that, didn't I? Well, fuck me.
That's right.
So I looked into, getting a ring these days, professionally made. That's $3-4 grand right now.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. That's.
Well, what do we spend, Chris? We spent $1,000 on making our ring.
Something like that. Maybe a hair over $1,000. Maybe $1,100-$1,200.
We got sick of shopping this around and getting these stupid prices. So I just sat down, pen, paper, designed a fucking ring. We got the steel. Guy put it together for us in a day. And we had people all over California were saying it was the best bumping ring ever.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, if I got, scrap this, scrap that, got the other, I know some welders, I could get by a lot cheaper, but I got too many other things on the docket right now. I'm retiring the end of April. You probably heard the phrase, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah, but I've also heard the phrase, you never really hang them up.
Well, that's kind of what happened to me, actually, because like I said, I got out of it, gave my ring away, ended up getting remarried. Girl at the time was 6. We had a baby later. And when my youngest was about, 14? So she was about 8-9 years old. And I've been away from it, let, social contacts kind of go to the side, whole 9 yards, pretty much done. And,
uh-oh. Is he frozen or is everything frozen?
I'm here.
I love it when this fucking happens. I just wish it happened when he was like in more of a mid-goofy face, kind of like
Marty, I'm the leprechaun.
I know, I'm the leprechaun. He's still fucking frozen.
I'm gonna take a piss, man. So I know I'm saying on the air, guys, I'm taking a piss. So yes.
We're on the air, right?
Of course I know we're on the air. That's what I'm saying. I'm taking a piss.
What? Well, you dirty motherfucker.
You
No, go fuck yourself.
I don't like you.
All right. So then, welcome to Rob Wild's Wrestle Shoot. It's always been me, the big star, the one that you come to see. Mickey, can you still see us? Are we still playing? I need you to respond. Waiting on you, Mickey. Hurry the fuck up, Mickey. All right. It's fun talking to the old boys and hearing them talking about the old boys you used to know, you used to run around with. It really, that whole term, it's a small world, that is just so undervalued. It really is a... Chris, Mickey wants to make sure you don't piss on yourself, you asshole.
Oh, no, I didn't, Mick. Thanks.
You prick. You got up in the middle of the show. What do you think? What do you think? We're on Opie and Anthony. You could just leave the studio.
Yeah.
What's up, Connor?
I didn't take a piss. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Pulled that little miniature fucking sausage out. Let a little bit of fucking liquid tinkle out your little piss pump, you motherfucker. All right. I was really trying to make that work, but I couldn't.
Yeah, it just got worse and worse. It's okay.
Well, hopefully he comes back, but we've only got about 10 minutes left. So do we want to go to talk about Ron Shaw a little bit more while we have an opportunity?
Our bestie, Ron Shaw. I mean, like, oh, here he comes. I think he's back.
Here we go. All right. Ron Shaw.
All right. Crazy ass internet. Hate that shit.
I know. We were just commenting that I wish that you froze with a funnier look on your face. You know, something like that would have been awesome. I would have grabbed a screenshot and
I'm sure you would.
Definitely.
I would do that. I would do that. Yeah.
I think Barney's is the funniest
what happens when Cage has a stroke.
Yeah.
Hey, enough locker room jokes. They do that because of my age, you know.
Yeah. I know. Fuck. We had. I was gonna bring Casanova a cane one day, but I forgot it at home. I tried to get somebody to bring it to me, but nobody's a team player. You know, not anymore. I'm all on my own when it comes to ribbon.
Oh, yeah, poor bastard.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for the sympathy. I could tell that was fucking genuine.
Right here. But
love, Sam. It's all love. Chris, why don't you take over for a minute here so I can go take a piss? How'd that be?
Are you going to go take a piss right now? All right.
There he goes.
We had Marty Giannini on about a year or two ago, and it actually froze. And like he was like in this weird he was outside, but with this fire going on. But it was weird. His pose was like this. He's like that. It looked like he was like a fucking leprechaun, dude. Like from fucking.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Like he looked really, really fucking creepy, man. But it was like frozen forever. But he had some shitty ass internet, and yeah, it was funny. He should have been there, but
interesting.
Yeah. So where did you train at?
Trained with a interesting story. Well, all wrestling stories are kind of interesting.
Okay.
I'd wanted to for a long time. As soon as I got out of the Army, I was looking through, I think it was PWI, and in the back, Jimmy Valiant had just started his school up not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
And it had the phone number to Big Mama's Flower Shop to contact him. Well, I was over at my girlfriend's. Wasn't any other way to do it. I wasn't going to run up her dad's phone bill. So I called collect. Well, I think looking back, she thought I was one of the workers that was maybe stuck out on the road and something. So she took the call, and she's like, "What do you need Jimmy for?" And I said, "Well, my name's I'm in West Virginia, and I want to come down there and train with the Boogeyman." She says, "You call me collect. You got any money right now?" I was like, "Well, not right now." She said, "Well, call fuck back. What you doing?" Hung up on me.
Oh shit.
So here, I saw Jimmy once before, but I wasn't on the card. I was just dropping some stuff off for the promoter and had to go to my 9 to 5. But when I was on that card with him not too long ago, I gave him $2 for the phone call.
Love it.
Chris, can you bring Mickey's comment back up?
Oh, we got Mickey making a comment.
Mickey, take these.
He's your number one fan, isn't he?
Take these 3 fingers and shove them up your ass and spin, you little fucker. Yes, me and Mickey are homies. But fuck you anyway, Mickey. Right there, pal. Right there.
There's another comment.
He kind of looks like Danny DeVito's older brother.
He does.
He looks like Kevin Sullivan's creepy uncle.
No, it'd be even better. Kevin Sullivan and Danny DeVito had a kid together.
There you go.
Yeah. So there you go, Mickey. Shove a cane in.
But anyway, getting started. This guy knew he was a big dumbass. He was like 6'6". He was a pretty stout looking guy, but he would piss on his own pants. Going to the bathroom. That's how clumsy the guy was. And he came over the house one day, and his arm's in a sling, and he's limping. And I was like, "Mike, what the hell happened to you?" He's like, "I started training to be a professional wrestler." I was like, well, I tuned into that real quick, so he kind of gave me the hookup. And it was a guy named Playboy Buddy Rose, not the West Coaster, different dude. Don't want to really badmouth the guy, but we parted ways for very good reason. Not too long after I finished training, let's just say that. But he gave me the hookup. He never came back because we talked about that ring, with the block under it. Yeah. But I started showing up and, paying the money and paying the dues and got my ass trained that way. That was back in 1992.
Wow. Okay. It's a long time, man.
Been at it a while. Like I said, I screwed myself with when I got out of it, because when I got out of it, we were still, if you wanted to get booked, you were boxing up, videotapes and sending them off by mail, and the fuckers weren't returning them. And, it was
ropes.
Yeah, it was a process, and if you want to make phone calls, you ran up huge long distance bills. I got out right when that ended, and the internet jumped in, and all that shit basically became free.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was out for close to 10 years. And like I was saying, I took my kid to a local show because she just never been to one. And I figured, you should at least see an indie show, no matter how crappy it is, once in your life, see if she liked it. So, I brought her in, and you'd have thought she was at a WWF show, and this thing's in like the back of some garage. The only thing you can really say good about it is they had a nice setup and some decent ceiling. Yeah. So we're sitting there, and this dude I used to wrestle with comes in and sits down beside me. And if you want to see something funny, his name's Mark Maddox. He's a cool dude. He started in 82, and one of his first matches was with Paul Orndorff. You can find it on YouTube. Paul frickin' destroyed him. It's hilarious to watch. He beat the living fuck out of him.
Right.
But we're real proud of it. He got to work Paul Orndorff. So, but anyway, I'm coming down.
Orndorff was like,
"What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm coming down here to start working." Dude's older than I am. I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Hey, you want to manage me?" Well, he does. He does a cowboy gimmick, Mustang Mark Maddox. We can see what my gimmick is. And I was like, well, kind of a metalhead cowboy gimmick thing. It might get over. I get to put my stuff on, let the kid watch. Sure, don't have to bump my ass off. Why not? So I started doing it. Every freaking show I put the gear on. Hey, Cage, can you go work a little match? You go work a little match. I got 40 grand in each arm from, fuck ups. So I kept saying no. About 5 months in, they didn't have enough guys to pull a fucking card. So I'm like, do not tell your mother. And I got the thing, and like you said, the bug bit me again. That's 5 6 years later. Here I am.
Yeah. Jeez. It happens, man. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's one of those, like Rob says, you never hang it up. It's like, though, I've seen some dudes that are way past their fucking prime, and I don't want to be that guy.
Honky Tonk. Piece of shit.
Oh, he's still working?
Ron Shaw.
So what?
I don't think Honky's working.
Wayne, God, no. He's doing comedy as far as I know.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm sure he's pretty goddamn good at it. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he should be.
He's a great storyteller.
So, hey, real quick, we're going to give Mickey a new gimmick. So, do we like Kevin DeVito, or do we like Danny Sullivan for that creepy little bastard?
I think Kevin DeVito is going to get him more bookings with that name.
Yeah,
right. But then the last name Sullivan is infamous in wrestling.
Well, that's true.
Some attention too.
Yeah, the thing is, like you talked about it, though, we're getting into a new generation that don't know who the fuck he was, and that's sad.
That's the truth. They still know who DeVito is, so all right, Kevin DeVito it is.
Kevin DeVito,
all right, Kevin. Now shut the fuck up. So we're out of time, guys. Why don't you put some info over, man? Where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook, probably the big one, Cage the Human Nightmare on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. You put Cage the Human Nightmare, you're going to find me.
Okay.
There it is. Nice. Chris, what about you? Where can we find you? Nowhere that matters.
No, I'm not giving that out. Come on now.
And shall we just kind of end this with our final thoughts on Ron Shaw?
Sure.
Chris, you first.
Ron Shaw, you are a fucking has-been. Melanoma. The shit's in the ring, man. I saw a couple of your matches the other night, and you're just a shits. Yeah. That's all I got. Not going to waste any more time on them.
Okay.
Hey, why don't you give us your 2 cents on it?
My 2 cents on Ron Shaw. Ron Shaw, congratulations on being somebody I've never flipping heard of in my life. And after seeing a picture of you, I would think that was some sort of 50 cent bottom of the barrel gilf porn kind of thing that, you know, at best, a trailer park howdy doody too. In the story.
There you go. Yeah, that is true. I would say, Ron Shaw, that you were the poor man's Bob Backlund with your stupid little windbreaker and your little tighties and your little knee pads and beep. But you're not. You're below that. You are the poor man heroin addict, Bob Backlund.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, man, fuck Ron Shaw. Right in the ass. And if anybody agrees with us, please feel free to join in on our new campaign where we're going to hashtag every show moving forward. Fuck Ron Shaw. So get on board. Let's get this thing trending. Ron, this can end for you next week. Just contact me. Bring your bitch ass on this show. I'll bring Monty on the show. You apologize to Monty, and I'll apologize to you half-heartedly. That seems like a hell of a compromise, right?
That's a really great compromise.
So, with that being said, fuck you, Ron. Cage, dude, thanks for hanging out with us. It's been fun. You're definitely going to have to come on back and party with us again.
Sounds like
guys, please join us in supporting Vanessa. We are trying to keep this poor thing from being homeless. She's important to us. She's a good producer of quality materials. So let's all get with the program. All right.
All right.
All right. On that note, brother, we will see you soon. Chris, I love you, baby. And Mickey, go fuck yourself.
Right back at you.